Okay, let me take this off. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In the place to be, I'm your host, Adam Mill. To the right, left of me. In the middle is, in no particular order.
Because the governor.
Jammer one.
And Quan Bizzle. All right. Fellas. Before I start, please like, subscribe, share, um, that sort of thing. What's on the agenda today? We have double XL class of 2025. Y'all want to speak on that first?
Yeah, we can with it.
Okay. All right. Let me get these names right. I only know I had time to look at three names. I think one is CeeLo Ball.
Ray,
Oh yeah.
Ray, Baby Chief, do it.
No. What's his name though?
Ray, Vo,
Ray Vaughn.
Trayvon.
I think he's probably the most talented one out the whole group. Um, from LA. He was in a little sparring match with Joey Badass, and Joey spanked him. Um,
Hmm.
um, okay, CeeLo Ball, Ian, white boy, and somebody named what is it? FT something facts or whatever. No, I'm not.
Black PB fat.
Yeah, no disrespect, young man. No disrespect.
Okay.
Let me start with Ian, man. Um,
Tripping.
I didn't go to his songs that went viral. If he was featuring on something, I went straight to his projects. See, we old school. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Nas was known for the cookout verse. You know what I'm saying? He snuffed somebody and what the hell, and that put him on the radar and stuff like that. But we judge newcomers on their first projects or the body of work that they have out there in the world, right? So I'm going to Ian stuff and I'm looking up the album. I'm listening to it. Bruh, it took everything in my life to get past three songs.
Mm.
And it was so horrifying. And I said, what are these TikTok rappers or something like this? I mean,
I think they
God,
are.
God, I mean,
They are.
you could have had AI write your stuff.
It
I
ain't.
mean, oh my goodness.
But
It was so horrifying to listen to. And it was a struggle, bro. And then I said, okay, after the fourth song, I said, I already know what this is. I don't want to hear no more. I'm not being the old guy, the hater or whatever. It was just horrifying, bro. And then I listened to I already listened to Ray Ron type his album. I gave that a 4 out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah,
Well, why do
he
you give it a 4 out of 10? What was wrong with
it
it?
was not polished enough. Like when I first heard Schoolboy, um,
he went.
uh, when I first heard Ab Soul Projects, Schoolboy Projects, when I first heard that, and going back to my son and I, we just talking about Kendrick, Section 80. When I first heard these projects and these guys coming out at a young age, you can tell, you can see the potential. You can tell that TDE at a young stage were backing them up, and they had a great machine uh, behind them, and you seen the potential. With this, is just when I listened to Rayvon's project, it was more so like it wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to drop, and he just leaked it out to the world. It was unfinished. It didn't feel complete. That's just my opinion. Didn't feel polished. It just seemed very premature, right?
But the song was the song. Did the songs like stand up? Were they good? Because you can hear a good song, without it even being mixed. You can hear the potential in the song. Did the songs have potential?
Mm, no, I was very underwhelmed, and I'm
Oh,
glad. I'm glad you say that because I was listening to Jean Grey. Let me get the name of this album. It doesn't seem like it was even mixed or mastered. Um, it's called. Help me out, God. What is called? It's called. We was talking about it earlier today. Sorry for being unprepared. Hold on. 1 second. I'm gonna tell you what it is right now. Jean Grey's albums. Mm. The album that you wanted to pop up on, it don't never show it. Well, anyway, let me use MF Doom for
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
yeah, thank you. When you listen to that album, it don't even sound like it was mixed and mastered.
You talking about the
It,
new?
Jean Grey, everything's fine. When I listen to it, it sounds like she done it in her basement with her husband, right?
Mm.
And
It sounded pretty good to me. I thought it was mixed.
my ears, it didn't sound like that. It sounded like it was like you can tell it was heavy Doom influenced. Um, it had that Kanye element to when he was doing in his Jesus phase when he was just throwing it out there, not really mixing and mastering the project. It just you can feel the potential.
I could have
You,
been.
you
Is it
can hear the talent in
now?
that.
I haven't heard it. I haven't listened, right?
Mhm.
But I'm judging by the album cover of it, and I'm wondering if that was intentional. If she purposely did that sound for this,
I believe so. Yeah, I
given
believe so.
given the concept of everything fine, looks like it's a put on. Like oh, I'm everything is broken, but I'm fine. I'm fine. So
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. It was intentional. I won't go drift off too far off base of what we're talking about this draft class, but I'm just to answer Gemma One's question. Um, you can hear something that doesn't is not mixed or mastered, and hear the talent in it.
Hmm.
This, unfortunately, with Ray Vaughn, it was mixed and mastered pretty well. It was just underwhelming,
Oh, okay. All right.
like a
Man.
Baby Keem. If you're familiar with Baby Keem's Kendrick cousin,
Yeah.
he underwhelming. Like, I'm gonna give you an excuse you got to develop. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you an excuse because your age. I'm gonna give you about 2 or 3 more years and see what happened. But this class, man, and the guys I listened to was just straight. Well, no talent there, man. I won't focus real quick because I'm going on. I don't want to go on a rant. CeeLo Ball. When I listened to his album, not only that it was corny, not only that the bars get a 1.5 out of 10, 10 being the highest level, but you're rich. And you can tell that you're some type of TikTok slash celebrity Calabasas slash uh, 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 reality show type of rapper. You have two brothers in the NBA, so of course your fan base is going to drift over to whatever you do. You didn't make
Hmm.
it. You didn't make the. You didn't make the cut. You didn't make the cut in the NBA, and now you're not making the cut in music. It's just trash, bro. It's just trash. And then he's talking
Oh,
about
you talking about Jello?
Jello, whatever his name. Yeah,
Oh,
Jello. Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Um,
I
thank you.
didn't like him either.
Yeah, he talking about ops. What ops you got, bro? What guns are you shooting?
Yeah.
I'm done. This is the worst class in a long time since the class with Kodak Black and
I was thinking.
21 Savage.
I was thinking about that.
This is the worst I've seen since then.
It,
I
it,
thought that was the worst. I thought 2016 was the worst class. This by far takes the cake.
You thought six, man, I think I think these were pretty good all the way up to 17. Um, I I pretty much cut I pretty much cut all like hip hop acceptance probably after 17 because the music haven't really it didn't really shift much. It did shift. And the younger generation, they have a wave and they have a thing that they're doing.
this is that.
But the thing that they're doing, it really only appeals to them. Before you had, before let's say the 2016 class when they came in, they were hard to swallow, but they were talented. Like you know what I mean, little Uzi Vert was hard to swallow, but he was talented. After a while, you can hear something there. They had a vibe, like it was something in their music that still kind of moved you a little bit. You know what I mean?
That
It was
little it
moving.
factor. That little it
XXX
factor.
Tentacion, it moved you.
Hmm.
You seen something with these guys. You know what I mean? Like even little Dicky, like. like they had something. You could see the talent. But with this new class right here, they all rap like they're in a race with the beat. They rap like they're in a race with the beat, and they both trying to get somewhere. It's like, can I beat the beat there? You know what I mean? They're using that kind of weird cadence. And then, like some of the guys that stood out to me, of course, was Rayvon, Samara Sin. She stood out. Was they kind of have like the classic, sort of the classic style. Then you have Laserdisc 700.
What the hell? See, I didn't listen to all of them. I listened to four
Laser,
people.
yo, you have to listen to Laserdisc 700 because when you listening to him, you kind of feel like you being trolled because he sounds like a troll rapper,
Mm.
and it's so bad it's funny. Like you can't get mad at it because it seems like he's trying to be creative, and I don't know. He on the list. You know what I mean? Like I guess they're getting support from their peers. You know what I mean? And then I'm there's also this thing of is the double XL freshman list even still relevant? Is it anticipated the way that it used to be anticipated a few years ago? Like, do
No,
people even care anymore?
no, like the NBA draft. Who cared about it 2 days ago? I know I didn't, and I watched NBA. I really didn't care. I actually fell asleep and woke up the next day and skipped through the numbers, draft
Mm.
picks. That's how I
Uh,
felt
I
about it.
I
That's
never really did sports, so I.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm telling
But
you,
anyway,
I'm comparing it. Like no one's looking forward towards the draft no more.
That used to be a big deal. That used to be
Yeah,
like
no one cares. And now I look at it. I look at it just like this. No one cares.
so.
right, right,
I
and
heard
it's kind of sad, and it's really make me wonder what's going on with hip hop. Are we gradually declining? Are we about to go down the drain and become like just this genre where you have people creating the music, but it's no longer uh, um it's no longer a mainstream genre. It's completely underground. And then you got, hold on, let's a couple other guys on here that I want to mention. You got 1900 Rugrat. He's a white rapper, but he got like this really interesting voice. Like I kind of liked him a little bit. I thought he was cool. And then Baby Chief Do It. He's like sort of he's like I think he's drill. I don't know, but he
so
was talking that talk. And it's just like they all kind of do the same thing. Nobody really jumps out at you. The only ones that really jump out at you are the ones that's different, and that's Rayvon and Samara Sim. The rest of them, they kind of, you know,
And Rayvon just sound like I mean, he is coming off the bench when it comes down to TDE and his peers. He's not a starting fiver for sure. He's coming off the bench. He may get some playing time. They may, back him up or send him back down to the D League and say, figure it out. I'm just doing sports analogies, but this is a sad class. Before I let Gov and Bizzle cook, who was the first troll rapper? I had one in mind. The original troll rapper.
I don't know.
I'm going back to Old Dirty Bastard.
Old Dirty, I don't know, man. He used to
uh,
battle and stuff.
no, man.
Old Dirty used to battle, so I don't really know because our generation, we really took it seriously. You know what I mean? We really,
Yeah, but when you listen to
we,
Old Dirty and his singing and he carrying on and vouching on track and
Yeah,
the things he was just saying, it was like
out there,
more daring than what the normal MC would say during that day.
right? But he reminded me of Biz Markie at the
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's out the norm. Like,
reminded me of that. Like that's
yeah,
so I see that continues. You know what I mean? That whole thing continues. That's why you talking about the artist earlier. I forget his name, but the artist you talking about earlier, I was seeing that same vibe. But another thing I checked though, because I couldn't see it all in the same place. They got another list called the UGS, the Underground. the
Oh,
Yeah.
UGS 2025. So I checked that and I noticed that there was the same similar trend. One thing that I noticed, it sounded like it's kind of a lot of the sound, like it just sounded like dead. You know what I mean? Like the sound is dying. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't have that feeling. It
Yeah.
don't move. Like it. So for one thing, like at first listening to it, catching the beat that they on, because obviously the cadence has changed. You know what I mean? You can't get away with the
Hmm.
same from 5, 10 years ago. It's completely changed now. Like they're just racing it, like you say. So
Yeah.
that was the first thing. So first, I'm trying to catch that. When I finally catch it, I'm like, okay, I hear a little bit. I can hear, like bits and pieces. They are saying some stuff in there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, they throwing it as a bar too. You hear it. So I do hear
Yeah.
glimpses in these guys. You know what I mean? In this new class. And another thing is another thing that you see is the way that they're pretty much putting people out by look is the big deal now versus the actual sound. That's why so many people sound the same.
yeah, they're just trying to,
Oh, okay.
like a pretty package with, it's a pretty package with no type of substance in it. It's like a good plate of food presented to you, and it's bland with no flavor.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
I would like to argue something though, because I would argue that Ray and wait, what's her name again?
So Maxim,
Um,
Samaritan.
yeah, Ray and Samara. I feel like they're kind of repetitive too. I don't know if you guys are kind of into the new, well, I say underground, the underground scene, um, where there's a lot of these artists, young artists now that are coming out with that Kanye style, that Kendrick style. They're trying to put lyrical rap back on the map. And I start seeing a growth of that. I start seeing a lot of that during the whole Kendrick and Drake battle, during those couple months. Um, and I feel like just not only that, but I feel like, rap as a whole just needs something new, innovative. Rap, it doesn't matter of the age no more. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 20. Doesn't matter if you're 15. Rap, the genre as a whole just needs a restart, needs a rebranding of itself. A lot of these artists right now, the labels, they're putting so much money into these artists because they're thinking, okay, what does the generation like? What does TikTok, Instagram like? It's almost like a panic right now. They're trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what's happening. That's why for the past couple 3 years, the freshman list has been a mixture of like R&B slash alternative rap artists slash hip hop artists. It's a mixture of everything. I've listened to some of these artists. Um, like Baby Chief do it when he first came out, like when they're first on YouTube or first on TikTok. Um,
Hmm.
I listen to Rugrat. I know of Ray through the whole Joey back and
That's the
forth.
first time.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's the first time I've heard of him. And everyone else I've heard him at least once. G-Lo, I've never heard of him ever until this freshman list came up. So I was kind of really surprised he was on the list anyway.
The crazy thing about him, I wanted to mention, is of everybody, I think he had the highest views. It was between him and YTB Fat, but I
Mm.
think Jello had the most. He was the most viral out of everybody,
you know,
which is crazy because I thought he was the worst, one of the worst ones.
surprising, his family. No, he had two brothers that's in the NBA. He actually tried to get drafted last year and didn't get drafted. You get
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
wild.
And um, then he got he was a walk on, and then they like you're not good enough for the Charlotte Hornets. So, and he had a reality TV show. That's why I say this is reality TikTok rap with him. And them,
Oh, okay.
them
I knew it
short,
had to be something behind it why he had more views than everybody else.
well, nowhere in the world somebody sounding like that, bro. Listen, lightning strikes. They say strike one time. If it wasn't for the fact that his family had fame already, he was already a reality TV star,
mm,
and he had none of these elements going on, and he
Mm.
up on the cover, excuse my French, excuse me, of double XL.
Mhm.
They're light the muscle stroke. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, this guy is utterly trash, man. I mean,
Mm.
like God, I mean, hey, y'all can help you write your version.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He's the worst rapper. We gotta make a new list of worst rappers of all time. He's so
Yeah.
terrible that he's automatically in my top five.
um yeah, um but I think one of the main things, especially the list kind of reflects on it, rap is too big right now. Rap is too filled up with people that rap and don't rap. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
back then, rap was popular in the 90s. It was growing and it's got way more mainstream in the early 2000s and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But rap is now filled with everybody is going to rap. There's platforms, BandLab, there's Rap Chat, there's other apps where people can make music from their bedroom, people can make music at their job, workplace. So everyone is rapping now, So it's it's a blurred line for fans now between an MC and a rapper, right? So
Mhm.
you don't have MCs on here. You have rappers. You have TikTok rappers. You have artists that blew up one day from making a song in their bedroom. Yeah, actually, a lot of these people on this list, some of them, most of them, I know that they blew up from BandLab or they were making music from their phones. 9 out of 10. So,
That's why
I mean,
you
that's the
don't,
wave
right,
nowadays.
right.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, okay.
I seen one of the interviews, and they were talking about how people were complaining about this current list, right? And they saying, yeah, y'all making fun of us. Like one dude read the comment said, yeah, this don't even sound like it's mixed and mastered. He said,
Yup,
yeah, you mad because you paid all that money to get your stuff mixed and mastered, but you don't have no motion. That's what the
yup,
response is.
yup. No, no, he lying. No, he's not lying.
So that's what the current thing is right now. Like all of this that we talk about, they like, man, this is y'all old guys running y'all mouth telling us how our music supposed to be. Y'all had y'all time. Stop telling us what we supposed to sound like. That's
Yup.
what they're doing. That's currently what's happening right now. So
Terrible.
naturally, when I first started listening to this list, right, that's when I said,
Mhm.
hey, it's official. It's already past me. Like because I couldn't get it at first. Like I'm listening to it, I'm waiting to bob my head naturally. You know what I mean? The beats start,
Yeah.
and then they now don't. I'm like, okay, I gotta catch this one.
So say it one more time, man. Rewind that. You was say you waiting to bob your head
I'm
naturally.
waiting to bob my head naturally. I'm waiting to bob my head for the beat to kick in, right? The beat kick in, boom.
Oh my
Like
God.
okay, and they start. But they not hitting I'm not hearing the cadence at first. I'm like, okay, I gotta catch this one. So
That's that blue face, man. He's the father of that craziness, man.
right. But once you catch it, I can get where people get it though. You know what I mean? You gotta catch it. Once you catch it, you get it. Same way when I remember when the Migos and all them came out, right? And they were
Hmm.
saying the same thing. I don't know what they doing. But after a while, you catch it, then you get it. Then you say, oh, I see what it is. It's
That's
a
funny. That's funny how that used to be looked down upon. Remember back in that day in the studio, people be upset with you, man. You'd be so frustrated that say, man, I'll get back to it tomorrow. When you couldn't get on beat, right? The engineer
Mhm.
like, yo, say it this way. You're
now it
jumping the
works.
bar. What are you
Now it
doing?
works. Now it works.
Yeah, now it works.
Right.
You know, all rules have been broke.
Silk the
I
Shocker
mean,
could come out now and he probably be number
oh
one.
man, he's like the rock Kim of these guys, man.
See?
Seriously, Silk the Shocker should be honored. I mean, he should be like on the Mount Rushmore of trash. And
No, I did not hate Silk. So
you didn't?
I didn't hate Silk, no.
No, that nigga was trash, man.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
hated
care
him.
for Silk either.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I will. One thing I almost feel like I'm committing taboo by talking about the artists on this list, the way I spoke about them because of my age. I wanted to be perfectly clear that I understand that younger people that when they come into something, they have their own unique way of doing things. So I don't really want to, I don't really want to like shoot them down, tell them they're whack or anything, because it's really not for me. It's for them. You know what It's not for
I'll
us. It's for them.
I would tell them they're whack. I'll tell them for you, bro. You know,
You
y'all
could tell
try.
them for me.
Yeah, here
I
it is. I'm
wouldn't
looking
though.
at camera. Listen, double XL class of 2025. Besides Rayvon, the rest of y'all dudes, man, ass. Straight up ass, man. Just trash. Get him up out of here. I don't see nobody really taking the craft and art serious. You can have your style, right? But escape from the norm. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wish we should have done something on Jean Grey, man. She really inspired me, bro. I mean, when you listen to her, man, she's so underrated. Um, and so gifted and talented, right? And she was
Mhm,
independent. You feel what I'm saying? For a long time. And when you listen to
mhm.
her music and you watch her videos, you can, like she said, I surpass rap. I don't like. She said I didn't like to be caught in that female rappers label. You know what I'm saying? She said I just wanted to be an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You may get, you may you. I wanted to the point where you're not knowing what to get when you get my projects. It's something new every time. It's something pushing and challenging every time. You get what I'm saying? And shout out to Kanye. He had it in his right frame of mind when he was into the Yeezus stage and stuff like that. It was just that we couldn't digest it the way we wanted to. You get what I'm saying? We couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't digest that stage of Kanye. But now
Well, look,
looking back at it,
as an artist, that's what you kind of supposed to do. Like me personally, I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. Like DJ Premier been doing the same thing since the 90s, right? And it's cool, it works for him.
Yep.
Pete Rock been doing the same thing since the 90s. Like, and I don't understand how they don't get bored. Like me, I get bored. I like to try different things. That's why when you listen to one of my projects, it sounds like it's kind of all over the place because I like to do different things. I don't stay in one place for too long. You know what I mean? I get bored. I'm conflicted as an artist. And that's like a thing that it can either hurt you or help you as an artist depending on how you use it.
let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this. Do you feel the need? This is how I feel right now. Like I said, if I get these little projects out the way, do you feel the need to travel to other genres and integrate it into hip hop? Like go to
I used to. Yeah,
opera
when I
music
was young,
and
when I was
manipulate it.
younger, I used to. When I was in my 20s, I wanted to do all of that stuff, do a whole bunch of, and I did. Like if you listen to the stuff I was doing in the 2000s, which you can't find it because it's so experimental, and for me right now, it's so embarrassing. But I used to do all of that stuff. I used to venture into different genres and chop up different types of foreign music and indie rock and Brazilian music and just make beats out of all of that kind of stuff. People used to ask me all the time, like, where are you getting these samples from? And I would never tell them, but like, yeah, trying different tempos, all of that stuff. And sometimes the songs would come out good, but they would also come out really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and when I say like around 2000 and maybe 2010, I say, you know what, I'm just going to keep it simple and I'm going to try to remain more in the pocket because good hip hop has a pocket. It does. It has a pocket. You
Mm.
can either you can either be like in the boom bap pocket, or you can be in the dirty south pocket, or you could be on the West Coast got a pocket too, and their pocket is kind of like a G funk sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm.
you got pockets that you can choose from that you can kind of stay in. You know what I mean? But yeah, like when you veer too
What about
far away from those pockets, that's when it can get a little shaky for you.
but if it's done right, it's
Yeah,
groundbreaking.
that's what I'm
Mm.
saying. Like if you go too far out, if you go too far out, that's when it gets shaky. But when you stay remain in the pocket but still make it somewhat experimental, that's when you kind of do it right. You just have to know what you're doing.
It's like putting a satellite around the Earth. It's got to be at the right distance so it doesn't fall back to the Earth. and it can't be so
Mhm.
far away that it doesn't go alpha orbit. And
Right. That's a perfect example.
Hmm. I
And I
agree
think
with.
everybody, like if you do art, right, I think everybody should go through an experimental phase.
gotta do it.
I went through it when I was young. Like
Mm,
when like the late 90s,
Hmm.
early 2000s, when people were still doing like 90s sounding stuff, I was like, that's boring. We already did that. Let's do something else. You know what I mean?
Good facts.
And what I've learned is people really don't want that. They want stuff that's in the pocket.
mm.
That's what they
I
want.
I agree to not that. See, I agree with the freshman list, and it goes back to what you and what Pop said. They're not so bad. I feel like it just depends on, like, it's for what this generation wants to hear, right? But I'll
Yeah.
also say one thing too, right? Take their rhymes and their vocals and then experiment and put it on a doom type beat or put it on a 90s or 80s type beat.
Right.
See, they're still rapping. The element of hip hop is not gone. Remember back then, a couple years ago, people would say when they heard the Migos, man, rappers are gonna turn to gibberish and they're not gonna say nothing. They're still rapping, even if it's not.